Thousands of runners left thousands of pounds of trash after the Austin Marathon. Today, the greenest race in North America, according to Runner's World, disposed of its waste. CBS 42's Greg Watson is live in Creedmoor where that trash is being recycled. Greg, tell us about it.
Hey Judy, if you wonder what happened to all that trash, just take a look at this. Inside these mounds are cups, containers, bananas, oranges. It's all part of an effort to stay green in one of the greenest cities. Take a look at what we saw out here earlier today. Cleanup crews bagged the truckloads of the stuff and hauled it here to Texas Disposal Systems in Creedmoor. Grackles gobbled up some of the garbage. The rest was placed on top of mounds of waste. A giant windrow turner then turns the pile, breaking the trash down and distributing it inside out. It's estimated the 14,000 runners left 30,000 food containers, and folks with the Austin Marathon didn't want to throw it into a landfill. The city didn't want that either. It's trying to reduce waste at major events, so the marathon formed a green team to stop unnecessary waste. They reduced paper in runners' goodie bag and used less plastic at water stops and made those plastic jugs recyclable.
Right now they're still in there as whole cups, but after about 48 hours after being in there with the heat and the moisture, they will break down, and after we turn those about 3 times, that's with a windrow turner, turn those about 3 times, they will start biodegrading and start composting.
Now it's going to take about 30 or 40 days for that pile of trash to turn into compost. Then you can spread it around your yard and garden, and it has those soil enrichment proteins that should make things grow faster. We'll talk more about that coming up at 6 o'clock. That's our story live out here in Creedmoor tonight. Greg Watson, CBS 42 News in HD.
Thank you, Greg. Besides the recycling, some of the cars used during the race were fueled with biodiesel and were used in no idling zones, saving about 18 gallons of gas on race day. The city's trying to make major events go green, and the Austin Marathon says it is certainly doing its part. This weekend, thousands of runners left thousands of pounds of trash, and that garbage has to go somewhere. CBS 42's Greg Watson is live in Creedmoor where the trash is being recycled. Greg.
Hey Judy, you don't get the title of the greenest race in North America without earning it. Runner's World magazine may have noticed stuff like this. Inside these mounds are cups, containers, oranges, bananas. It's all stuff the marathon didn't want to just throw away. Grackles looking for grub grabbed trash from the Austin Marathon. The rest is ripped open and tossed into a pile to be recycled. 14,000 runners left an estimated 30,000 cups and containers.
We're just making a bigger effort. We tried to cover up as many trash cans as we could along Congress so people wouldn't throw their recyclables in there.
That's all right then, can you stop?
Workers lug up ladders to make the rubbish recyclable. Behind the joysticks, Brian gets joy from running the windrow turner. The waste is churned and turned and left to burn in its own energy.
Right now they're still in there as whole cups, but after about 48 hours after being in there with the heat and the moisture, they will break down, and after we turn those about 3 times, that's with a windrow turner, turn those about 3 times, they will start biodegrading and start composting.
This is what the pile will become. Compost, something they say is good for growing.
Make stuff grow better and longer and without any type of pesticides or anything like that.
The marathon wants to keep its title as the greenest race and keep Austin trash-free. Now they're also recycling 13,000 plastic water bottles and 10,000 pounds of cardboard boxes. That's our story live here in Creedmoor tonight. Greg Watson, CBS 42 News in HD.
And besides all that recycling, some of the cars used during the race were fueled with biodiesel and were used in no idling zones. It's estimated that saved about 18 gallons of gas on race day.
Well, if you spent any time downtown yesterday, you probably noticed a lot of waste left behind by the Austin Marathon. So what happens to all that garbage? Well, in keeping with the theme of the greenest race in North America, it is all getting reused right here in Austin. These are live pictures from southeast Travis County. Marathon organizers are recycling tens of thousands of plastic cups and bottles, and they are taking this green approach one step further. Local recycler Texas Disposal Systems is composting an estimated 30,000 biodegradable food containers today. In about 90 days, all that compost will biodegrade into mulch that will then be sold to businesses and gardeners all over Austin.
Yesterday's Austin Marathon was a big success. But what about all the garbage that was left behind? Tens of thousands of plastic bottles and aluminum cans collected along the race route, they're being processed. And local recycler Texas Disposal Systems is composting some 30,000 biodegradable food and beverage containers.
Those windrows run anywhere from 100 to 175 degrees in temperature, and then the material just breaks down. As it breaks down, the big scarab machine that you'll see in a few minutes runs over it and destroys it, tears it up, and puts it back into pulp, if you will. And then we take and screen that material out and make the compost out of it.
Well, in about 90 days, those containers will biodegrade to enrich mulch that'll be sold to help local trees and gardens and flower beds grow.
This year's Austin Marathon is in the record books, but today something unique is being done with all that trash from this race. Marathon organizers call it the greenest race in North America. In addition to collecting tens of thousands of plastic bottles and aluminum cans to be recycled, Texas Disposal Systems will compost between 30 and 50,000 biodegradable cups from the race.
It's a win-win for everyone. It's a product that they needed to use. The Austin Marathon took on the initiative to go green, and we're excited about that. And so we'll take those products and then turn them back into a beneficial use that people can take and spread on their yards and lawns and things like that.
Takes about 30 to 35 days for those containers to be turned into a mulchable product. Certainly had a great day for that race yesterday, Jim.
It worked out just right.
One man's race is another man's rubbish. But the Austin Marathon trash is turning into mulch. It's a new idea for what organizers say is the greenest race in North America. Texas Disposal Systems plans to compost some 30 to 50,000 biodegradable cups that were discarded during yesterday's big run around Austin. They also collected tens of thousands of plastic bottles and aluminum cans to be recycled. I know you covered that last night. That was a nice event.
It really was. And